Great Biafrans, a good people of Nigeria, the ever strong and ever progressive Nigerians, I greet you fundamentally, I greet you alutali, and I greet you spiritually. I want to draw our attention to something that we need to know and work with. There are a lot of intelligence coming to us, and we need to be aware and at alert. Recently, we have been seeing videos trailing on the social media linking some atrocious killings, some inhuman acts, some acts that really mean terrorism, some acts of terror, especially the one that was recently said to be Nigerian military personnel, a man and a woman. But just yesterday, another one just surfaced. There was a video circulating yesterday and a day before. The video was where about 4 or 3 persons were beheaded, and these heads were used for play. They were making jokes, cajoling those heads. Please, my brothers, my sisters, these videos are not what they are. These videos are deliberately put up, and these lives, as for lives being killed, those actions you saw there, they actually took place, but not the thing that are doctored, that you are seeing, the interpretation they are giving to you, which you are accepting. Please, those heads you see are not anything related to IPOB, not anything related to. I will tell you, and I will tell you where this video is going to, where it's tilting towards. There is a conscious attempt by British government using the Fulani who are in charge of Nigerian state. That's why I want to title this video Britain, the Serpent and the Accomplice Evil Bots dealing with Nigerians. When you don't know where your problem starts, you find it difficult solving the problem. Because my philosopher said, knowing whom you are first is a doorway to self-actualization. Our problem is not Buhari. Our problem is not Jonathan. Our problem is not Yaradua. Neither is our problem Nnamdi Azikiwe. We're tracing the beginning of Nigeria and all this trash we are using as constitution. Where our problem is those who colonized us and still leave us as their imperial colony till today. While other states are developing and growing, diversifying, venturing into technology, Britain refused to grow. They are still looking for slaves. They are still looking for slaves. They can't grow because their mind has been skewed to cheating. They can't just do anything better than that. And we have here a part of the country who also refuse to grow, who also refuse to advance, and are looking for cheap ways to use others, even when they are the least in population. That's the Fulani. This is our problem. Then the people, the little things, all these little ones you see around southern Nigeria and other states, other northern states, these politicians, all these greedy fools, all these vipers, they are the little vipers to the main python in the north, which is in the Fulani. The Hausa man, mind you, the Hausa man is suffering the same fate with you. Just that they are deceived with religion. Your problem is not ethnicity. Your problem is not religion. Your problem is Britain and its primus subject. its primus underdog, the Fulani caliphate, working hand in hand with Britain, then thereby making the other political elites from the other parts of Nigeria, they are underdogs of the underdog to Britain. So this connivance is what you suffer today. And I tell you, I promise you, in as much as you keep singing the song One Nigeria, you can never be free. I tell you, the policeman you see who is collecting bribe, it's not well with him that he's collecting bribe. That army man you see going to execute, going on a wrong mission, I tell you, right inside his heart, he is not happy executing his brother. Unless for those who are of the Fulani extractions. I am telling you, if you care to listen to me. This is the living Chukwumerije telling you. The problem you suffer is the genesis, and the Malachi of your problem is Britain. Then its primal subject, the Fulani. The day you realize this, now check the video you just watched. There's a video where people are cutting off people's heads. And somebody linked it to IPOB. Somebody linked it to Igbos because they made people speak Igbo on the ground. You just watched last week. These supposed officers, army officers, the couple that they were killed, and the other one's private part, the lady's private part cut off, and you saw the people now speaking on the ground, speaking Igbo dialect on the ground. Many things should come to your mind. Many things should come to your mind. And I will relate to incidents of 2018-2019, where there was robbing of 3 banks consecutively at the same spot, at the same time, the same operation. Armed robbers attacked 3 banks at Kwara State, and it was linked to Saraki. And you see these same people who committed this crime now. The people that were brought to testify now saying that this car vehicle belonged to Saraki. Now, will Saraki be very stupid? Saraki, I am not justifying him. He's a Nigerian politician. He's one of the criminals. But for that particular case, that bank robbery, how can Saraki send his boys to go and rob banks with his campaign vehicle? Does that make up? You know, it's very lunatic. And some people that forges these lies to the Nigerian incumbent government, they are very poor-brained. They are very little. They are myopic in thinking. Their reasoning capacity is very poor. And of course, I read them, very punny people. They are very down mentally, I can say. Because if you are smart enough to tell lies, you should know. You can see how they try. If you understand what the attack is all about, Nigeria is in a very big fix. But the government is threatened. The IPOB activities is already getting on them. If you understand, each time there is any move to liberate Nigerians, irrespective of the tribe that is spearheading it, the government plays some smart games. And they are using this thing over time. Just a month ago, barely a month, after the inauguration of Soludo, Professor Charles Soludo, I must respect him because he's a man of great intellect. Immediately after his inauguration, another phase of disruptions, another phase of violence began to unfold. We had a video clip of INEC officers killed. Before then, we have video clips of where some unknown gunmen attacked funeral service ground, and killed people, took away some people, and some people were in the video tracing it to IPOB. You know, these things doesn't make up. If you are rational, you should be asking many questions. Okay, these 2 officers who were killed, these 2 supposed Nigerian army officers were killed. The other one now, we found out, they said he is already retired or resigned. I don't know if he retired, if he is retired or he resigned. And definitely, as in the military tradition, one of them have to. Now you see, till today, no family in Imo State where it is claimed that these are two families, so there should be big uproar from the communities where they come from. It's nothing to go secret. It's nothing to go under the carpet. This is something that should be making serious round. No family in Imo State has owned up that these were their children, or any of these ones are their children. These videos I know could have been imported from somewhere. If this video actually took place in Nigeria, it's not in Imo State. If it is in Imo State, where exactly did it happen in Imo State? How were these two persons singled out from their cars? Who were their drivers? If they were in public transport, who were those passengers alongside with them? If they were not, what park did this public transport took off from? From Onitsha, from Nnewi, from Abuja? What is the report after then? You should ask so many questions. You should know that these things are made up. We are getting many reports now. This thing could have happened in Cameroon, that they are rumoring, but until we finish our findings. Nigerian government makes excuses to kill its citizens. Is that fair? Why are you always clamoring for this one Nigeria? A government that will make up stories to kill its citizens. The next you will see Nigerian government sending troops to Imo State to continue with the annihilation of the Imo indigenes. Unfortunately, we have an appendage of the Fulani head crown there as a governor. When you see things that are put up on the social media like this to defame any group that is making wave, questioning the government, questioning the policies of the government, questioning the validity of the government, you will see the government bringing out defaming evil. They will cook up evils, put it on the social media, because we remember how the government came to be, how they defamed the government of Goodluck Jonathan. They painted him a devil, they painted him a Satan. This same Jonathan is the one that is becoming the president again. APC is picking him. I told you last year, if you watched if you have been following me up, I told you the video, all these things. This is the most contested, going to be the most contested election in Nigeria if it's going to hold. The way Nigerian state is going, I don't know what is the fate of Nigerians. Nigerians need to stand up and ask questions. Why are you always saying one Nigeria? What do you stand to gain? What do you stand to gain in your crave for one Nigeria? What is your confidence that you are going to have a good Nigeria? What is your confidence that P2B, that is speaking too much grammar, that is an economic expert as he want to tell you? Who told you that P2B is going to stop our problem? Because he doesn't know the problem. So how can you fight a problem you don't know? P2B doesn't know that the people he's always referring to are our problem. He doesn't know. Because you can't fight a problem you don't know. For a doctor to help you cure your disease, your sickness, you first of all have to open up, or he quarantine you and get the problem. So when he doesn't know, how can he solve it? What capacity has P2B to muzzle out our meat from the mouth of the Britain? How do you explain the fact that many barrels of oil goes out unaccounted for from Nigerian shores? How do you account that people who own oil don't have access to the oil? How do you account that the people that have oil block licenses are not the people that own the land? How do you reconcile many things that are happening in Nigeria, and how do you tell us that we must remain in unrestructured Nigeria? Because as me and you know, restructuring Nigeria is an impossibility. Britain knows that any day it is restructured, you have taken away the meat from their mouth. So it is, when you are venturing into something, you check the possibility. Is this thing really feasible? It's not. You can't. Mali realized their problem and they went to take care of their problem. The only people that would have helped us solve the problem is the military. Unfortunately, the military is in the wrong hands. The military is them compromised. I tell you, the Nigerian military men themselves, the personnel, the ordinary soldier, has a problem with the whole system. But the military is something you don't talk. You take the last command. I tell you, if you have many military friends, ask them. They don't like what is happening. I have a lot of military friends. I have a lot of police friends. They are not happy with the system. Some of them traveled overseas. Some of them have traveled. They see things. They see how governments are run. They are not happy. But you are not helping them. I have had a lot of them who confided. They need you to do your work. They can do theirs. You can't just take up a mutiny. You can't just go in fighting your superiors. You can't find the commands, the control. The structures in the military is highly respected. There's the people who would have helped us solve the problem. See how it was done in Mali. The populace took to the street. The populace said we are resolving it today. And the military was already there behind them. You cannot. Military saw the little attempt. Okay, after this, let me just even come out, because if I begin to ask my questions, you will know. If I continue with the question, the why questions, why these things was put on the social media since these killings, and no family has owned up. Why was it that when this so-called unknown gunmen we are linking to IPOB after this execution, they quickly run and connected someone they just called a friend to one of the female officer, supposed female officer, acclaimed. And okay, where is the location of the exercise? If you are carrying out of terror, that means you are not afraid of your location. When you see the Boko Haram carry out the unending terror in the northeast, even in the northwest now, everywhere they are there. You only have a government who changed the names. We have account of the terrorists telling us in the media that the president knows what their problem is. The president, your sitting president, knows what their problem is, what their demand is, what they want. Why do you allow the government to keep deceiving you? We have many people, we have many retired generals who have opened up, who have privileged information. We have even imams who have opened up. For you to know it's not about the religion or tribe. Follow up if you are really following up the issue, this Nigerian insurgents and security challenges. You should know that there are more to it than the eye can meet. We have a lot of them. Those who tried to unlock to reveal the secrets, they were killed. Why is it that these ordinary military personnel who are not generals, who are not high-ranking officers per se, how is it their own killing is making too much wave? Their own killing is making too. What happened to Alex Bade? You know who he was chief of naval staff. He became chief of defense staff. I don't want to enumerate all the officers that are handled in Nigerian state and comfortably handled them. He was killed. It was swept under the carpet immediately. Ordinary officers are killed. These ones were not killed by IPOB. Get it straight. IPOB is not a terrorist group. Nigerian politicians, Igbo politicians are aware of this. This video is clearly either doctored video like I am taking from my part, or the political class did this. They did this. Alex Bade was killed. Obadiah Malaifa, former deputy central bank governor. He ventured into revelation of, or in fact, he was about calling names of those people. He said practically that sitting governors in Nigeria, in the northwest, in the northeast, they are the commanders of these Boko Haram activities, and all the things, the insurgents, all the militant activities, all the killings you know about. Whatever you try to call them, what name you brand them, call them terrorists, don't call them terrorists, but they are all terrorists. It has a stand of jihad. It had a stand of political interest. Why don't you ask so many questions? These men who were highly placed were killed for trying to reveal things about this terror in Nigeria. And it was swept under the carpet. Video suddenly emerged because IPOB was already creating awareness to the world. Because Britain, the serpent, with its craftiness, can always write scripts. And they wrote this, they wrote this script again. That when you do this, even Nigerians will begin to hate IPOB and call them terrorists. That when you do this one, don't worry. They said, don't worry. Just carry this one out now. Put it up. You will see. Even the Igbos will even begin to hate IPOB. That is, they are trying to, this is acting on the script. To defend IPOB, discredit IPOB, and make you hate IPOB. Everything bad is attached to IPOB. Because IPOB is about tearing the curtain, the barrier that is holding you, all Nigerians, down. Go out there and see, even among Asian states, see how they are having comfortable life. When a governor is owing you 3 years, he just paid two months or 3 months, you are happy. You rejoice. They have subdued you. They want you permanently subdued. You are having a helper. You are listening to all the cook up and you are watching the script and allowing them manipulate your psychology yet again. Why was Alex Bade's killers not hanged? Just because 2 officers were killed, they have sent battalions to Southeast to continue their killings. Nigeria, we are far. Nigerians, we are far. We need to open up our brain. What is the business of IPOB going to kill and even videoing it as a terrorist organization now? They video it, that they kill INEC officers, they go to public places, kill people. They are trying to paint IPOB black so that you will hate IPOB, kick against IPOB. And you are very too fast, you're very quick to forget yesterday. It's not yet yesterday, it is almost today. Lekki Tollgate, it is barely a year. This was a genuine protest. A genuine protest. Before you know it, the script writers picked up the phone, put up a call. Oh boy, you not asleep? You don't know what thing to do? Infiltrate them. Put up hooligans among them. Cause mayhem. Let's turn the protest upside down. Every time they do it, it will work. They will manipulate your psychology. Why are you allowing your brain to be rated poor? Accepting this means your brain is poor. And you can't be accepting this because your brain is not poor. Your brain is not poor. You are quick to forget everything. Benue governor just took the podium. He talked about on a press release. He talked about how the connection of this and all the call he has put across to the president and how everything is showing that the president is aware of the terror in Nigeria. And how his life immediately after that media publication, his life was threatened. Attacks, about 6 attacks on the life of the governor. If the governor was threatened that way, was almost killed, but because he's a strong man and his God is by his side, that would have been the story. And you see them boasting. And the worst of it is that the people are boasting. They are doing it. They are boasting. They are not hiding. And then, why not you question how many times that the terrorists have shown on the media inhuman kind of killing? People, they cut their breasts, they do anything, they pound on the mortar, and the army never go there with vengeance. So they never send battalions there. Those of the Boko Haram members who has been called, and those of the commanders, so those of the sponsors whose name has been mentioned, you Nigerians, you never questioned why the government have not hanged or nailed or even summoned any of those people. Just a few months ago, Dubai government, UAE government, just released the Fulani men who are sponsoring Boko Haram. sponsoring terror in Sahel, Africa, in Nigeria. You have never questioned why the government is yet to bring forward any of these men, at least even just for doing sake. You are not asking questions. You are very quick to take anything they release against IPOB. Why do you hate IPOB? Some of you who hate Igbos, do you know why you hate Igbos? You don't know. If they ask you, what did Igbo man do to you? Practically, what tangible thing did Igbo man do to you? You don't have an answer to it. Why? You don't have an answer. The script writer is doctoring you. He's machinating the whole thing. Britain. That's the serpent. The devil on the cross. He's machinating the whole thing. The Fulani man is an empty brain. Britain write the script. The worst of it is that they will still take certain Nigerians as their PAs. You see a man who knows nothing than to rearing cattle and killing people for the sake of cattle. Nigeria is a funny place. Serious. You are not asking questions. You need to ask questions. Why is it that anytime they put up all these things on the public domain, you just speak it, you work on it, you act on it, you condemn IPOB, you fight the Igbo. Even if some Igbo people's brains are washed like that too. Huh? Is that fair? It was an Anambra election, violence everywhere. They wanted to incite Anambrarians against IPOB. They wanted to incite the Igbos against IPOB. I tell you, do you know why we have the death of Dr. Chike, the husband to Akunyele, Dola Akunyele? Dr. Chike Akunyele. What has been done about his death? They painted it to be IPOB. Okay, bring these people that executed. How? Why not trace it? Tell me why such action would take place. That killing now, that killing you saw, it took place, immediately it took place, about 8 hours. No, that was about 5 to 6 hours. Nigerian government already announced that it was IPOB. It was IPOB. When things happen in a civilized state, the security agencies go into private investigations. They don't come to make utterances until findings are brought forward. They rush quickly, said, hey, it was IPOB, concluded, sealed, and you took it. Why didn't you ask question? Why was it immediately this pronouncement was made? Britain began to prepare speech. London was already boiling because it was a script. Immediately they had to declare why IPOB must not be listed in their asylum. And I tell you, when you say there was a twist of facts, when you first had the first version of the news, which Sahara reporter immediately reported, you know, all this our garbage news media we have in Nigeria, they just pick them, Sahara reporters, them. No. Immediately it came forward. I tell you, Britain was aware of the first version of that news. Yes, it was not a mistake. The first one had to spread, of course, to poison the heart of people. Then the second one now, which was where they tried to make themselves clear, they clarify it. It was denial of asylum based on what the government of Nigeria was giving to them of terror. Okay, good, fine. It was just after that action, that killing of the couple, that we had the secretary to the UN, is it Antonio, what you call him? He had to tell you that Nigerian state had to reintegrate Boko Haram terrorists, that they have repented, those repented, as they mention it. You should be following the game in Nigeria. Nigeria politics is so deep, and your problem, you should know, it's not Buhari as you are calling, it's not whoever becomes the president. The problem is the vampire, that serpent you call Britain. They don't have another thing to give them money. They don't have another thing to create wealth. And as God will have it, very soon, Russia will clamp down on them. And they will know that oneme. All the problem you pass through across the length and breadth of Nigerian states is Britain. Britain and their underdog, the Fulani caliphate. Then the other ones are small problems. All this, Okalu, Russia, Sokrocha. These ones are small problems. They are not problems. If you take care of Britain, all these ones will settle. Why will Ojo Okalu steal with all the words he has? All his riches. Why will all your governors, all councillors, all local government chairmen, all Nigerian politicians can do anything they want to do because they know there is above forces who will always back them? All of them. Those ones you think that they are going to jail, no, come and take me, I go to that kind of jail and give me that money. But you know what is that? You know the kind of jail. Their jail is more convenient, more comfortable than your normal life. In where you are living in Eboku, where you are living in Awada, they are, and you are comfortable. You are managing because they have subdued you to a management life. They have made you see yourself a lesser human. The man that is saying Sai Baba, and do you know how his life is in the whole Northern States? Do you know how his life is? It's miserable. When they do these things, ask questions. Why was the house of this Efulefu, Joy Eboku, his house was burnt immediately? About 2 hours, he already was on social media to announce, hey, IPOB here, no, IPOB, this one. That he already concluded he knew who did it. That means he sponsored them to do it. Aha! He was not shaken. And when I told you how much that was given to, it was a script he was acting to defame IPOB. All these things you should open your brain to know. Did you hear any pin about his house again? Any pin about Joy Eboku's burnt house again? Did you hear any pin about Ohaneze and Igbo leaders' burnt house? These people do everything humanly possible to make you hate the only movement that will liberate you as a Nigerian, not as an Igbo man, not as an Doma man, not as a Nigerian irrespective of your tribe except Fulani. It's only IPOB that will help you. If IPOB succeeds, you succeed. Any day Nigeria is divided, Britain cannot have access to any of the new states. And that's why they are so carefully guarding against anything that will make it possible. Our military is supposed to have made it possible. Unfortunately, our military has been politicized. Then politicized. It's not about the current chief of army staff or whoever, all the army chiefs. It's about the system that has made it that any army chief coming will still work in that line. Any president coming, it's not about Buhari alone. Any president coming will work in that line. You must act on the script of Britain. Listen to me. If you become a new president today, no matter how good you are, we know P2B is learned, very smart, intelligent, but put P2B in office, just 6 months, you begin to regret. It's not that there is another man better than him, or it's not that there is no other man better than him. It's because there is a system that you cannot fight. That's not the problem. That just because there is a system you cannot fight, the power that is stronger than any president, any incoming president, any existing president. That is why we have a common solution. The Odudua, the Arewa man, the Igede, Doma, and all of you, We are fighting one cause. Have a common enemy, Britain, and its underdog, the Fulani caliphate. Those little demons around are not our problem. Because anytime we take care of this father and son, the other ones are minor issues. They cannot, the fear will not even allow them. Because we have the system that will never allow them do good. Do you know that anyone who really wants to do good, he will even be killed? If you doubt me, ask me what happened to Ambode. When you hear they say Buhari was begging Tinubu to leave Ambode, it was all made up. You must understand that we are fighting a greater demon than those things you say foundational causes. That is why you are having problem. When you are having problem, put up a good Nigeria and you see that all those foundational problems will disappear. All these family problems, they will disappear. They will disappear. When you hear many things that are happening, do a little thing now. You just hear a little confrontation. You will see the troops killing people in Imo State. Today, just try any little thing that will mean questioning anybody that is in government. They will send the Fulani terrorists to Imo State today. Because I know any genuine Nigerian army has conscience. Any genuine Nigerian army has conscience. You hardly see a genuine Nigerian army point gun at a fellow Nigerian, irrespective of tribe. But those ones who are called the repentant, whatever you call them, those ones who are working on jihadist agenda, those ones who are there to advance Fulani cause, they can do anything. They can do anything. Anything. You need to start asking questions. Why do we have so much insecurity in Southeast? Why is it that many things are now put on social media and you hear them even speak Igbo? Will you go and steal and you write your name, say, I am the criminal? Oh, you go reason now, you go think small before you accept what they tell you. You're supposed to use your head small now. It's not good that these people will be using one strategy for you time and time again. Any little thing, Britain will remind the Fulani their script. Say, have you forgotten? You did not play this role. Act on this scene. You are forgetting to act on this scene. They will say, 1, 2, go. They start acting. They start displaying. Just the same antics. Divide and rule. Divide and rule. They will jam people's heads and they begin to fight themselves. If not that God was really on our side, Igbos were supposed to start fighting themselves recently with the whole thing, the game they are playing recently. Let me not dive into that side now. I will still talk about it. Do you know that the same thing they used in the old, they are still using today? When there is any good move to create changes, they will politicize it. Britain will forwardly put in one script to say act. When the 15th January 1966, during the coup which was meant to liberate Nigerians from bad governance, bad government, which was to put us in another page in the affairs of things, they turned it upside down. They tagged it an Eboku. Hey, Igbos, they want to dominate. Oh, you are watching them. Now Britain put call. Say, you are watching them. The Igbos, very dangerous people. They will dominate you economically and dominate you also militarily, politically. You are gone, no? Do something now. They began to massacre Igbo troops. Britain engineered everything. The vampire country called Britain. UK is so satanic. You are watching them, they tagged it and Igbo this thing. Mayhem, carnage. They began to slaughter people, slaughter all top officers of Igbo extraction. Why did you call this an Eboku? Why did you call it an Eboku? Why did you tag it an Eboku? Nzogu that executed this coup, was he not more northerner than an Igbo? Okay. When something has to do with sensitive movement, something that will bring good, it's not Igbo. When it's something that is bad, it's Igbo. In your own, depending on how you classify it being bad and good. So look at Nzogu. Nzogu was born where he was born. All his life as a child, he lived there in the north, in Jos. Nzogu doesn't even speak Igbo well. He is very fluent in Hausa language. Nzogu did everything he pretended. In fact, he was even answering a Hausa name. He was called Kaduna. Nobody even knew his real name until after the coup. The coup he carried out, who forced it? Was it still not Igbo officers who forced the coup? Was it not JT Uagi Ironsi who forced the coup? Was it not Lieutenant Colonel Odumegwu Ojukwu who forced the coup? Was it not Lieutenant Chukwumerije Dibia Nwawo, Brigadier Nwawo, who forced it? Because he later became a brigadier under during the war. Was it not Brigadier Nwawo who forced the coup? Was it not Major Afensus Keshi who forced the coup? All the officers who partook in making the coup fail. They were all Igbos. They were all Igbos. But because you must act the script of the paymasters, or of the vampire, of the arch vampire, arch demon, because you must act on their script, you tagged it an Igbo coup. Was it not in the first brigade in Kaduna? Was it not in first brigade Kaduna where Major Alphonsus Keshi run to inform Alexandra Madiebo that something was really wrong? It was not Alexandra Madiebo who immediately connected, ran to the brigade headquarters, where Nzogu was already seated on the place of A. Ademolega, who already was walked out. Was it not him, Madiebo, who worked on Nzogu? Was it not all Igbo officers who made sure this could never record success? But you were so quick to target an Igbo coup and carry out your agenda. It was Igbo coup, oh, they want to take over, they will finish us, and the same thing they're still doing on us. They're still manipulating on our psychology. Was it not Ojukwu who stood his ground from the 5th battalion in Kanu? Who stood his ground and said, no, this I must make sure it fails, so that they don't begin to think it was all Igbo affairs. He connected the Ironsi, he said, Oga, see, take cover. And Ironsi swung into action immediately. And today, they're still using the same thing. Check very well. If you permit me, I will take you a little back into the memory lane. From 18th, when they told you they ended slavery, did they actually end slavery? When they came in around 1820s, 1830s, the Royal Navy, they were beginning to manipulate our mind. After they received little opposition, they moved towards Sierra Leone. when that axis was not very inhabitable for them, they had to now come back towards Lagos, Bonny, Brass, Calabar, Ajokuta, and they were now trying to inhabit there. They faced confrontations, but they still succeeded because they already infiltrated some of our own locals. Like they infiltrated Fulani in the new Nigeria. The 1960s arrangement, or this 1960s, 1919s, from this 19s. We opposed them. Sonny Okoso, they succeeded. You know what? In fact, I'm so much interested in the case of Sonny Okoso. I think that was something that took place around 1840s. Sonny Okoso faced them, confronted them, but they faced the gunboat. They dealt with Sonny Okoso. They took him away. His uncle, who was a longer throat man, they discovered, when they come, they discover those ones who are cheap ones. They work with you. They use Sonny Okoso's brother, uncle, who was yielding. As they used him, the man became a big tool. They settled. They kept advancing. King Jaja of IPOB confronted them. At the end of the day, they still have their way the way they had their way. But in the bottom line, I pointed out, I'm able to tell you that they will always infiltrate someone inside. They cannot work without our own people inside, those who are cheap. They use our cheap people, cheap minds against us. It's those cheap fellows they will use. The Fulani is the cheap fellow they will use. They know that these ones are poor brain, so they have to use them. Today, you are talking 2023. Hey, they said the North brought Tinubu Jagaban, he will win. My brothers, my sisters. Even if we are allowed to talk about Nigerian politics, forget they don't want neither Tinubu nor Osibanjo. They even would prefer an Osibanjo. But they know he's a stooge. He doesn't know anything about government governance. He doesn't know anything. They know he's a stooge to be manipulated anyhow. But the card is beyond just knowing he's a stooge. Britain told them, we can't wait for too long. We can't wait for too long. Our patience is not there. We need to finish, finalize, really put Nigeria strong again in our hands again. So we can't allow Sultanas, because we may say Osibanjo is a stooge now. His brothers will influence him. So let us look for Jonathan again. That is why they are doing all this things. So they will still win Jonathan's heart. So you will see Jonathan throwing his heart into the ring, and eventually he will come out the winner, because he has only 4 years. They can't exercise the patience of waiting for after these 4 years another 4 years. No. All these other people you see, everybody is contesting 2023. They want Jonathan. They want to use him so that they will quickly take over what belongs to them. Does Nigeria belong to you? You must understand, you must reason, you must be smart. You must be smart. These people, this arrangement called Nigeria, it's not working. It's not working from the very beginning. If you see all the things, anywhere Britain, just take back as much as you can go. Anytime that anything will seem to favor southern Nigeria, the script writer will quickly call the attention of. Do you know why we have not had census in the recent time? Yes. Nigerians open eyes too much. The southerners are ready about asking questions. They are sitting up to ask questions. That's why they don't, because if it was when we were sleeping, we were dozing, they would have conducted census since. You will see 20 years pass, no census. Check it now. Census was supposed to have been conducted since 2017. Nobody's going to do that, because it will be revealed that southern Nigeria has a greater population. Check 1962 census crisis. You see the political battle. The Fulani man was not that smart. The scriptwriter was. They put up the script, say, opposite, opposite now. Don't allow them to any day count to be more populated than you. Opposite from now. If you are smart, you will see. When the North wanted to go their separate way from 1954, when the North were rejecting this the new state, the Nigeria official state as a constitutional state, the independence, when independence was to be worked out, the North said no, we don't want to. Britain had to go and tell them, you know what you are missing? We are crowning you. You are the heir apparent to this throne. So don't go out to. Don't step out. You will be missing a lot. You will regret it too. They convinced them to come back, and they have been living up to that promise. So Nigerians, wake up. Nigerians, wake up. All the things you are seeing in social media, they are cooked up, intended to defame IPOB, to foist the intention of IPOB to keep you permanently, you Nigerians, to keep you permanently aloof, to keep you wandering, to keep you downtrodden, to keep you in poor living standard permanently. IPOB's success is your success. Odua's success is your success. Anyone who pushes strong, because you deserve a better life. It's not just for the sake of hype. You will see some people coming to say, hey, this killing, they killed that woman, they cut her private part, they cut their pussy. Hey, this is how we will get the Biafra. They create images, create impressions for you to kick against Biafra, for you to fight against Biafra, for you to cast out those who already believed in Biafra. So, and what they say is enough for the wise. Listen to people who are flowing very well. A lot of retired generals from the Middle Belt are already telling their people to stand up to their feet, to stand up to the occasion, wake up. There is doom ahead. Everyone should prepare. Everyone should prepare. You Nigerian army, Nigerian police officer, it's not everything you're asked to do you just do. Those people you kill are your brothers. You don't carry out all operations. There are some ones you should allow your conscience direct you. They are brothers. They are sisters. Thank you for listening. This is the Living Chukwumerije from the Wilderness Table.